everybody, and welcome back to Face to Face with Violett. And I had promised some product reviews and product recommendations, so this video is just going to be a quick review of a couple products that I love, and it is going to be products that of course I would be recommending. Two things that I've chosen are for exfoliating, and that's because I just did that whole thing on exfoliation. I did an article as well as a video, so this will kind of tie in with that. The first product that we're going to talk about is the Daily Microfoliant from Dermalogica, and this sells for $52 and you get 2.6 ounces, and that's actually pretty good because you're using a small amount. And you can get this product at like an Ulta or a Sephora, but you can also get it at a lot of different skincare clinics if you do get facials. Some of them do carry Dermalogica. So this product is good for all skin types. That's why I recommend it to a lot of people. It's also gentle enough that you can use it every day, and you don't want something that's really harsh that you're using every day. And you also want to look at your product's guidelines as far as usage and make sure that you're using it however often you should, and don't use it any more often than that. This is a really unique exfoliator, and a lot of people haven't seen something like this. It's got a rice base. It's a rice-based exfoliator, and how it works is when it comes in contact with water, it's activated. So this formula has a few different things in with the rice base, and that's Papain, which is also activated with water, and salicylic acid, and then it has rice enzymes, and it's basically a micro exfoliator. I talked a little bit about rice bran in my article, and rice bran actually has phytic acid in it, and phytic acid is going to loosen the dead skin cells, but it's also going to prevent hyperpigmentation by basically blocking what happens when hyperpigmentation is made. So this also has Papain in it, and I talked a little bit about that in my article, but Papain is an enzyme that's going to exfoliate, and it's exfoliating. It's also activated by water, but when it exfoliates, what it's going to do is it's going to eat the cement that's holding the cells together. Papain is also going to help with hyperpigmentation because it's going to make your cells shed. It's also been known to help with scars, and hyperpigmentation is a type of scar. If it continually is shedding the cells on the top, it's going to eventually, it's going to keep lightening it, but eventually it would make it disappear. This also has salicylic acid in it, and I talked a lot about that in my article, and what that is it's a beta hydroxy acid, and it differs from AHAs because it's actually attracted to oil. So it's going to penetrate sebaceous filament and any kind of sebaceous substance, and it's going to go inside the hair follicles and exfoliate the pores. Salicylic is also going to decrease the microcomedones, so basically the start of any impactions in your skin. So the salicylic is going to really clean your skin and get inside and get rid of all the oil, and it's going to shed the cells on top of these microcomedones, which is just the start of what would end up being a pimple, so it's going to prevent that. In addition, salicylic is an anti-inflammatory, and that's going to be beneficial in your exfoliator because you are going to irritate your skin a little bit, and so if you have an anti-inflammatory in it, that is going to help with that. And then this product also has green tea, ginkgo, and colloidal oatmeal, and that is basically just a super blend of calming and soothing ingredients. So let's talk a little bit about how to use this product. Again, it's safe to use every day, and this is what I'm talking about when it's is a really unique product because it actually is like in a powder form. So if you can see that. So it's this super fine powder. It almost looks like baby powder. And what you're going to do is you're just going to put like a half a teaspoon, so a very small amount. That's why this is going to last you a long time. All of these professional products are concentrated, so you don't need very much. So you just dump like a half of a teaspoon in the palm of your hand, and then what activates it is water. So you're just going to take a little bit of water on your hand, get your hand wet, and then when you're emulsifying it with water, it's going to activate and turn into this cream, this white milky cream, and you're just going to start exfoliating your skin. Now you want to exfoliate your skin for about 60 seconds and try to avoid the eye area. You don't want to damage that skin. And always with exfoliators, try to stay away from the nasal folds. This skin here is really sensitive, especially if you have a cold or any irritation there. Try to stay away from the nose altogether if that's the case. So after you've completed exfoliating, you can either rinse it off, or sometimes I might just leave it on just for a little while, just because that papain and salicylic is in there, and it's going to give me a lot of benefits. So then you're just going to rinse off the product, and you're going to do this once a day. So the next product I'm going to talk about is also from Dermalogica and is also used for exfoliation, and it is the Ultimate Buffing Cloth, and it is $15, and again you can find it at Ulta, Sephora. You can get them at a skincare clinic that carries the line, and this is the neatest invention ever. Like, I use this all the time. I absolutely love it. I'll tell you a little bit about it, and then I'll tell you how to use it. The Ultimate Buffing Cloth is a hygienic exfoliating cloth. So what that means is it's basically nylon fiber, but it's going to dry super quick, and it's antibacterial. So you don't have to worry about this like you do with your loofah, that, you know, water starts building bacteria. This is going to dry right away, and it dries super quick. It's really, really durable, and I've had this one for a really long time. And yeah, I've never had one break, I guess. I've lost one at the gym. But so the Ultimate Buffing Cloth is just that. It's going to exfoliate and buff the skin, and the size of it is perfect for getting your back, because it would like wrap around you, so you can exfoliate your back with it, and you can exfoliate your entire body with it. You can fold it up and use it as like a washcloth and put your cleanser right on there. So I do a lot of waxing, and I know a lot of people wax, and one of the downsides of waxing is ingrown hairs, and you can also get you know, little pustules. So if you wax, what kind of happens is the hair is pulled out of the hair follicle, and if you're not exfoliating that empty follicle, the skin cells will fall off and they'll fill up inside that follicle. And then once the oxygen is closed off, bacteria can start forming in there. And then what happens is you get that little pustule. It's a little bit of bacteria inside that follicle. Another thing that can happen is ingrown hairs, and how that happens is the same thing. The dead skin cells fall inside the follicle. It's covered by these dead skin cells, and the hair is trying to grow upward, but it can't. So it curls up in there, and then you end up with an ingrown hair. So the way to prevent all of that is by exfoliating. So, you know, anywhere that you might get ingrown hairs, your underarms, wherever you're waxing, you can use this on your body to exfoliate, so that you are not getting ingrown hairs or pustules after waxing. I also love the buffing cloth because you can get your back. A lot of people don't exfoliate their backs because it's hard to reach, and your back needs to be exfoliated just like everything else. There are a lot of people that have really, you know, dry backs, and especially in patches. I see that really, really often when I'm doing like back facials, and those dry spots are basically from not exfoliating, and they can be itchy and irritating. But then on another level, people will also have breakouts on their back, and that's again from not exfoliating. And what's happening is what I had mentioned before, where the dead skin cells are falling inside the follicle. It's covering up the follicle, and bacteria is forming in there. So exfoliating is going to prevent those breakouts that you get on your back or anywhere else that you might get them from not exfoliating. So because of the size of this, you can get your back, you can get your neck, and you can get your feet. You know, some people it's hard to reach their feet. You can get your feet. So another thing that I use this for is the ears. When I'm doing facials, I always check behind the ears and in the ears, and most always I will find little blackheads and pimples in the ears, behind the ears, on the backs of the ears. What you can do is I just kind of fold it in half, and you can just put it on your finger, and you can exfoliate inside your ear and on the back and on the back of the ear. And then you're less likely to have those little pimples and blackheads that you get around that area. And that area is really susceptible to that because our hair is on our ears, and oil is transferred from our hair to our ears. And a lot of people might clean their ears, but if they're not exfoliating them, then you end up with that whole thing with the skin cells covering the follicle, and bacteria grows, and you can get a lot of sebaceous filaments, so little tiny blackheads, and this is going to help prevent that. So I love this product. It's got so many great uses, and it's really hygienic too. Instead of having like a washcloth or a loofah that's going to hold water, and bacteria is going to almost immediately start growing. So that completes my review of these two products, and I love both of these products, and I use them daily. And I would recommend these products to anybody of any skin type, so I think that's why I think they're so amazing. I can recommend them to anybody. I will be sure to put a list of these products on my blog and a link to my blog below, and I'll put more detail on there, and you can look at the description, pictures, and everything. So I will also be putting a link to my website below, and my website is face2facewithviolett.com, and on there you can find more product reviews on both skin and makeup, and also tutorials and articles on both skin and makeup. And I will also be putting a link to my other channel below. If you like skin, you might like makeup, and that channel is all about makeup. So thanks so much for watching this review, and if you have any questions, you can just find the link below to contact me. And thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I hope you subscribe.